What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I am your host. I am Caitlin Kenneth Smith. And today on the podcast, we have a return guest, Joey Shearer. And man, we were just talking about it. It's been like 6 months probably since I've had you on the podcast, huh?
Yeah, it's been a hot second.
And I'll tell you, your episode is one of the most popular episodes, but also one of my favorites. One of the best conversations I think I've had on the podcast. There were
Thank
just a
you.
lot of like incredible moments, and I think a lot of vulnerability, and seeing that side of you is really cool. And I mean, over the last 6 months since you've been on the podcast, you've been on your own journey, really honing in on things over like the last, 4 to 5 months with doing 75 hard and doing a first form 8 week challenge. And that's why you're here, because we want to talk all about the journey that you've been on. But really, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to kind of give the people a little bit of like a intro into the journey that we're going to talk about, like kind of where it all began.
Oh man. Well, first off, thank you for the love on the first episode. I got a lot of positive feedback
Yeah.
from, friends and family. It was amazing. You were the first like mainstream media kind of situational interview that I've ever done, which was kind of wild to think about, but it was such a great experience. I had a blast. So thank you again for that. That was amazing.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even know that like it was your first time having like an interview or a podcast type thing because you were flowing. I loved it.
So as far as what got me to where we are right now, man, it's been a wild fucking ride, man.
Yeah.
The when we first did the episode back in like what was it, March, April time frame,
Yeah, about that.
um, I'd been unemployed for at that point like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
We met in Florida for the first time at the retreat. Um, and we joke about it all the time that, we did that first workout together and we basically were like rep for rep with each other. And I'm not a CrossFit athlete as far as that
Yeah.
goes. I'm a
You were
traditional
you were hurting
bodybuilder.
and I loved seeing it so much.
Fuck, dude. Like I wanted to punch Eric in the face so hard that day. And it was not even a complex workout. It was just basic, simple stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, yeah, I'd been unemployed for about 8 months at that point. It was just a mental mind fuck as far as all that
Yeah.
goes. Hundreds, and I'm talking when I figured it all out, I put over 500 to 600 applications and resumes in that course of time. So it was a huge mental fuck for me in the sense that I kept feeling like it was my fault.
Yeah.
I was the problem. So fast forward to June. Um, I had an interview with a company that I eventually ended up getting hired on at with, and I was doing like sales essentially. I was doing like 50 cold calls a day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're getting a lot of no's, a lot of hangups, nobody
Yeah.
talking to you, it's tedious. It gets very monotonous, and it just like it was still just kind of a mental drain on me.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I remember when I was in the gym industry and I was like the sales manager and the general manager, we were required to make 100 to 150 cold calls a day, and it was a miserable experience because most of the time it was like hang up, pick up,
yeah,
it was like nobody was ever picking up, and if somebody did pick up, they were usually not very, welcoming.
cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of just a lot of mental push on my part just to
Hmm.
like one get through the day. And it's funny because I was just kind of listening to some of the most recent episodes you did, and I was listening to the round table that you did with the girls. Which
Hmm.
first off, that was a great episode. I love the perspective that all of you threw in there as not only just coaches, but as athletes and people as far as that
Yeah.
goes. And the challenges you face, the physical, the coach side of the world that not a lot of people see and appreciate, and the work and effort that you guys put into that. So kudos to you guys for just an amazing episode. That was great. But you prefaced a lot the push on 75 hard. You guys talk about how you know you guys get these clients and they're gun ho and 100 miles an hour crashing and burning, and um I didn't know Stone, your husband, up until a couple months ago, where we kind of
Hmm.
met through social media. We met through the Powerhouse Mentality, and he put out there in the group that he's like, "Hey, I'm going to do 75 hard. Does anybody want to join?" And I was like, "All right, we might as well." Um,
Talk about crash and burn. He crashed and burned.
and that was the thing too, is like at that point I was like, I don't need 75 hard. Like
Yeah.
I was rolling with my training, I was rolling with my food. I was trying to find a new routine and a new kind of flow of my day with not having worked for a year. Like I did 75 hard the summer before, right before Florida,
Hmm.
but it was kind of a, all right, I lost my job. I got to sink my teeth into something. This is
Yeah.
what I'm going to do. So fast forward to, Stone and I doing it, we're talking like every day, man, like, hey man, did you get your workout in? How's your water? How's your food? All that shit. And I just kind of felt like I was just going through the motions. I
Hmm.
was just kind of breathing and things, I was like, this isn't fluid right now. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
wasn't cohesive to what I was wanting to do.
Yeah. You were kind of just going through the motions and there was
Yeah.
really no purpose or intent behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just kind of said, you know what? F this, I'm mobile. I'm just gonna go do my thing. I'm gonna continue to work out. I'm gonna continue to eat. Um, and at the time, I was trying to support Shad.
Hmm.
For those that don't know, our buddy Shadrach T. Smith is one of the coolest motherfuckers you'll ever meet in
He's
this
a
on this
great dude. Let
planet.
me tell you, he's a manager at Texas Roadhouse too, right? Or like
Yeah,
a
like
district manager
kitchen
or something
manager or
big.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I need him to just send me rolls. That's what I need. Like I'll trade
rolls,
all the shirts. Just give me the rolls and the butter, please.
rolls, steaks, butter, like
Give it to me.
just like if Texas Roadhouse would sponsor me, I'd
Yeah.
be okay with just some steaks and some rolls. We good.
Yeah. That's all.
Uh, so Shad, if you listen to this, brother, please, hook us up. The Powerhouse needs some steak in their life.
Yes.
So yeah, he was doing a bodybuilding prep,
Hmm.
and I was like, dude, I'm gonna roll this with you. I'm gonna, send me your workouts. I'll work out with you. The days that you're doing arms, I'm doing arms. I'm eating the way you're eating, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
And I was like, cool, I'm rolling with it. I'm fine. And then July hit. um, and it was probably the hardest month of my life. Um, and just to kind of paint a picture, I lost my grandfather, who
Hmm.
was not a young man as far as life is concerned. He was 2 months shy of 100 and lived an amazing life. And I loved every minute of the 40 years I got to have with him. Um, he was truly one of my best friends. I talked to him literally about anything and everything. And I kind of lost myself after that happened.
Yeah.
And I told people, I was like, I knew when my grandmother died, who was his wife, which was like 7 years prior, I felt myself get into a really dark place.
Hmm.
Um, and I did things and said things and reacted to things completely just unhealthy in every aspect. Um, and it ended up costing me a job. It cost me, a lot of emotional damage that I did to myself, mental damage that I did to myself, that I ended up working myself out of with therapy and in
Hmm.
counseling, stuff like that. Um, so I knew that when I lost him, it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I just
Now,
didn't
were you
real.
prepared for this loss, like in the sense where like you guys kind of had a feeling that it would happen soon, or was it more of a surprise?
I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we know time is not on our side right now.
Right.
99 years, like I said, this man lived an incredible life, survived World War II, survived D-Day, which I didn't know about until that weekend. Like my
Yeah.
grandfather didn't talk about the things that he experienced during World War II. Um, and then so, he had a lot of health issues prior years leading up to it, and we kind of knew it was coming eventually. Um, but it got really bad towards like June, like conversations got to be very much the same, you know, a
Yeah.
lot of the repetitious conversations, and it was a lot of him talking about old memories, which was fantastic to hear, but it was just like it wasn't the same person that I had known all these years.
Yeah, I get that. That's kind of exactly what happened to my grandpa too. It was like
Yeah.
very like sudden decline, and then it's like this
Yeah.
is great, but it's
So
also like you're not the same, you know?
exactly. And like so like we knew things were getting bad cuz so a couple days leading up to his passing, my mom and I went down to visit him just kind of like on a random like I don't know, like Tuesday or something like that.
Mm,
And we knew something wasn't right. Um so the next night my mom and I both stayed at his apartment in his assisted living facility because we were really freaked out. Like we knew, like God, this could happen at any time.
yeah.
And so, fast forward, not even 72 hours, and he was gone.
Yeah.
You know, like we all watched him take his last breaths, the whole shebang. We were all in the room together as a family, minus my brother, who unfortunately wasn't able to be there because of you know, his military commitments. And I know you understand what that's like.
Yeah, it's a shit show, let's just say.
Yeah, so you know, that was really hard for me. And I one thing that, you know, I talked about in the last podcast is I didn't like to drink.
Hmm.
And after the turn of the year this past year, I decided I wasn't gonna drink for 6 months. Nailed it. No problems. Didn't even miss it. Um, and then he passed away, and like that week, it was just nonstop drinking for
Mm,
like 4 or 5 days. You know, like 5, 6 beers, whiskey, the whole 9 yards. Like we probably went through like in a couple of days that everybody was together, we probably went through probably like 3 or 4 cases of alcohol and probably a good bit of whiskey, which was, you know, kind of what our family does in these
yeah.
times. Um, and then I think after that, I was like, well, I probably shouldn't do this anymore. And I think after that, I had one beer, and it was after my softball championship game weekend, and I don't even think I finished it. I think I threw 3/4 of it away. I was just like, nope, I'm good, and I haven't
Yeah.
had a drop since. However, that was a personal choice. That was not I have a problem. It was this isn't what my life is anymore, and I don't want that to be my life.
Yeah, you didn't want to like regress back to what you know could have been.
Exactly. And so then another opportunity is presented for 75 hard.
Hmm.
And it was with Sully, who used to work with First Form, who does
Yeah.
those freaking Spartan races every
Yeah, he
weekend.
does
Like
all the
they're
crazy ass Spartan races and
like
every
all
kind like
three.
he's
He
always
does like
doing
all three
something.
every weekend.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Wild.
it's ridiculous. I mean, he takes them like vitamins.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they are his anabolic steroids essentially. Um, so he's like, I'm doing 75 hard. Does anybody want to do it? And I sent him a message that was like, I absolutely need a mental reset.
Yeah.
I was so mentally fucked at that
Hmm.
point that I was like, I need a reset. I need to hit the pause button right now on where my head is at. I need to find myself out of this darkness, find a little bit of light. And so, you know, like generally, like you said in the last episode or with the girls was you know, a lot of people use 75 hard as a weight loss journey, the weight
Yeah.
loss program, which, as you also referenced Andy saying, it's definitely not fucking that. It's a mental toughness challenge.
Yep. And in fact, I saw like, you know how like you go on YouTube and it gives you like suggested videos. One of the suggested videos was this girl who was like, I did the 75 hard TikTok challenge for one day. And I was like, it's not a TikTok challenge. First of all, you did it for one day. What the hell is that supposed? Like most people live a life like that who are like disciplined. You know what I mean? It was just like
Like,
kind of a ridiculous thing.
so
And, you know, because it
congratulations, you
had
did two
75
workouts.
hard, yeah, 75 hard TikTok challenge. Like it's not a TikTok challenge. You know what I mean? So it just goes
Yeah.
to show that like so many people see the 75 hard challenge. They think of like, oh, I saw that on TikTok. And, or
Mhm.
it's like 75 soft or medium or whatever the fuck you
Oh,
want it to be. And
yeah.
it's
And they're
because they
not
think
tacos,
like,
dude. It's not
exactly,
soft,
it's
medium, hard. Like
not a fucking taco. It's a mental toughness mindset
it'll make you
program.
crumble, but it's not a fucking taco.
That's right. That's right. Those people especially, right? Now,
Uh,
when did
so
you start
yeah.
75 hard? What
Oh,
what time was that?
it was
Because you finished,
August.
yeah, you finished it not that long ago. So I'm
So
trying to
I
match it.
finished it on Halloween.
Right. I remember
75
that.
hard, 75, my 75th day was Halloween night. And I was like, God, this is killing me. All I want is a fucking Reese right now. Like, give me that white pumpkin.
Yes. Don't worry though,
Let's
they'll
go.
be discounted tomorrow, you know?
So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So I think there was like a week between 75 hard and the beginning of the 8 week
Yeah, they
challenge.
were really close together. I remember it being like,
Like,
this is
yeah,
the perfect time.
or
And I
maybe it was
loved,
like that weekend. It I think it like lapsed over the weekend, like you
yeah.
started Monday kind of thing.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you started 75 hard instead of saying, hey, I'm going to wait until the 8 week challenge starts to start 75 hard. You're like, no, I'm going to start this. Like, is
Yeah,
the time.
but like again, if you reference my 75 hard post on Instagram, um, I was going through the motions of like working out,
Yeah.
in the sense like I was still doing things, but I wasn't working out with a purpose. I was
Right.
eating healthy, but not too healthy. Like I was going to Chipotle like almost every other day,
Yeah.
getting the healthy option, which with Chipotle, that's like it's okay. Like you
Right.
can make that work, but I'm still eating an entire bowl in one sitting,
Yeah,
and
it's like a good, better, best scenario. Like it's better than
yeah,
like going to fucking Pizza Hut and eating the whole pizza, but it's
yeah,
not as good as being
McDonald's
able to,
and
yeah,
yeah.
like cook your own meals and be dialed in to know that like, hey, this is the exact macros because, if you go to Chipotle every day for lunch, there's a lot of like variables there. Like if Bob's working, he's giving you more rice than if Beth's working, but you're tracking it the same, you know?
So yeah, so that was kind of like, okay, like I'm doing this because I need that clarity in my mind.
Mm,
Um, and a couple things that I did that was just for myself was, so like usually when I try to do 75 hard, I've got my AirPods in, I'm listening to like a podcast or music or something like that while I'm walking my dog on
right.
my my relaxed workout.
Yeah.
Because God forbid, you do two, like you said, you do two extremely hard workouts, 75 straight days in a row, you
Yeah,
may
that'll
actually
really
die.
last. You'll do great. You'll be broken before 75 days is up.
So that the idea was is like, yeah, I can listen to a podcast, I can listen to Real AF, I can listen to whatever the case may be that'll help me have clarity,
Yeah.
but it's not my clarity, it's
Mm,
someone else's clarity. It's somebody putting that thought in my head and saying, oh yeah, fuck, you're right, that's crazy. So it was a lot of me just being with myself, and as crazy as it sounds, talking to the dog.
yeah.
I don't know if anybody here talks to their dog the way I talk to
I
my dog.
I'm pretty sure like everybody talks to their dog and like sometimes you like take a moment and you're like, do they even know what I'm saying?
Judging me right now. She's looking at me, judging me right now because she
Yeah,
knows I'm
I
talking
feel
about her.
like I feel like dogs know. They just know. And like sometimes you
But
need them. Like I know when Stone's not here, like those dogs and I, we have lots of conversations. They just don't converse back to me for
it's
some
it's
reason.
that way to be able to have conversation with yourself without looking like Prince, Edward Norton in Fight Club.
Mm-hmm. It's
Talking
kind
to
of like
yourself.
you're getting a lot of thoughts out. I think like it gives you that clarity, right? Exactly what you're talking about. Because like a lot of people, for example, when they run, they say, "Oh, I run to clear my head," and I'm like, "Well, you're not clearing your head. You're getting mental clarity. So like you're working through problems. You're coming up with solutions. And sometimes just speaking out loud helps that. When you're speaking out loud to a dog, it's like it makes you feel better about it."
It's a soundboard that doesn't talk back.
Correct. Which more
Um,
people need to have that.
exactly. So yeah, so that was one of the things that I did, and then obviously with the ten pages task. So I actually upped that. I don't When I read a book, for whether it's a daily thing or 75 hard, I don't do 10 pages. I do a chapter. And if it's a small chapter, I'll read it a couple times just to make sure that
Hmm.
I'm reading what I'm reading. So best
I like
example,
that too, because I think that like the amount of times I've done like 10 pages and it's like halfway through a chapter, you stop it at a point. And now it's like, what am I reading the next day when you come back in?
kind of where my mindset was, is like I have such an old school ADD mind that it's like,
Mm.
the fuck was I even, what was the point of what I was reading yesterday now that I'm halfway through?
Mm-hmm.
So the one of the books that I read is a book that is referenced by a lot of people in personal development and business and everything else, and that's How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
This is my first personal development book that I ever read.
Crazy scenario and coincidence is when we were going through my grandfather's or my grandparents' house, I was like, holy shit, they have this entire bookcase
Mm.
I've never even looked at. Like I knew they were there. I could see them. They'll always forever be in my mind as being on that shelf in the family room where we have Christmas and everybody sits during Thanksgiving and bullshits. And so they're there, but you never see them, but you see them.
Right, right.
So I'm going through his books and I'm like looking at all these titles and they're Dale Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, and their first editions,
Wow. That's a special book.
1930s.
Shit.
So that was one of the first books I read in the beginning of 75 Hard. And there's chapters in there that are only like two or three, 4 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
So I would read those chapters a couple times per night.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be my 10 pages. And even if it was like there were some that was like 1 or 2 or 3 pages, I would read a couple of them and I would do it over and over again, just so I was saying to myself, okay, there are some chapters that are 30 pages, which I've read. Then there are some chapters that are 3 pages, and now I've read it 10 times, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it became one of those things where I was in the middle of reading and I like sat back and I put the book on my chest, like opened up and like I don't know, like got a drink or something like that. And I inhaled and all I could smell was their house.
Yeah.
Like, holy fucking shit. This is what I needed right now. Because it was a way for me to feel connected to him when I needed to feel that presence in my life. And I was like, this is what I didn't know that I needed when I
Yeah.
so that was one of those things that was like, yeah, it sucks he's not here, but this is something that's close makes me closer to him right now because now I know he's read this book, these pages, read these words, kind of like, okay, I'm reading his book, I'm connected to him. We both have now read the same book. And that made me feel of peace, quieting that voice in my head trying to find a way to connect with him again since he's not here. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the hardest part that I felt starting to ease was not having that connection because I
Yeah.
literally would call him every day just to check
Mm.
on him, see how he's doing. And I felt guilty towards the end because I didn't do it as much because it was harder for me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it was like against my schedule time frame, but it was harder for me to have those conversations because it was the same conversation
Yeah.
5 times in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it kind of let my guilt kind of get the best of me when it came to that. So reading that book just kind of allowed me to breathe again and say, okay, I have this with him right now. And like I said, it just kind of made me feel like peaceful and zen a little bit to where I could kind of start to allow myself to heal.
Yeah. Which is so important because most people, what they do is they just bury all these things deep down inside and they don't process or allow themselves the time to heal, thinking that, like, oh, it'll be okay. But at the end of the day, when you do that, that's when you struggle with the anxiety, with the depression. When you feel off and you have no idea why, it's because your body is still acting as if that event had just happened because you have not processed it.
of everything. 75 hard was my way of, I can move forward now. I'm still going to hurt, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be easier to allow myself to start that emotional um healing, that, like you were saying, like instead of swallowing it, um like it was that kind of kickstart that I needed, to be able to start to process, which allowed me to then say, okay, what's the next healthy thing to do? I'm
Yeah.
doing 75 hard, so I'm physically putting myself in a better position already. At that point, I was talking to a couple of my friends, and they said, "Have you considered grief counseling?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Yeah, I've thought about it. I just don't know where to really begin." So then, fast forward a couple weeks, I finally got the courage to call the VA and say, "I'd like to, start therapy and start, dealing with these emotions and these feelings that I have that I don't want to just constantly put into the gym."
Yeah.
Essentially, like that's generally my go-to to decompress and de-stress and kind of me time.
Yeah.
So, so that's starting to happen. And again, it's a one day at a time, one thing at a time kind of process. It's not going to be all the answers are going to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I started 75 hard as a mental reset, like I've said, and I wasn't worried about the physical side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started around, I think it was like 273, 275. I'd kind of gotten back up to one of my heavier points, and it was just because I wasn't allowing myself I wasn't allowing myself the discipline that I knew that I needed
Mm-hmm.
in that time frame. And so I decided, and again, this was a big decision for me because, obviously I have nothing but the utmost respect for Eric as a coach, as an advisor. I then made or sent a message to present company and asked if you would be my advisor.
Yes. I remember that.
Um,
That was cool. I was like, Joey wants me?
so at that point, that's when I was probably 25 days into 75 hard at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was right around the time where the 8 week challenge was kind of starting. And you were like, hey,
Um,
like, I really want to zone in on this.
so a quick, what, like day and a half kind of questioning back and forth.
Yeah.
We've kind of zoned in on the nutrition side of everything. Because I mean, obviously, I do most of my workouts, if not all of my workouts, through the First Form app.
Which is such a great tool for somebody who
Oh
maybe
my
doesn't want to,
god!
like, or can't, like, afford a coach who
Yeah,
programs individually for you,
and
you know?
honestly, like it's not even that. It's just like, God. I mean, both of us know you got to start somewhere,
Absolutely.
and they have literally every level that you could
Yep.
possibly have, and no excuses kind of situational too, where it's like, hey, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you can only work out at home. Here's a great body weight workout that you can use soup cans with, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
hmm
um,
Body weight, they have body weight, they have like dumbbells, bands, like full gym equipment, CrossFit, like
CrossFit,
runners, like
functional,
marathon
yeah,
programs.
yeah, everything, everything.
Beginner, intermediate, advanced. So like this is not an ad, but it kind of is an ad because like if you can't afford a coach and you want to start working out and you have no idea where to start, don't just go into the gym and start doing random shit because that's not going to work.
That's how
And
you
then
hurt
you're going to
yourself.
get frustrated and you're going to stop doing random shit.
Or you're going to ego lift because you think you can deadlift as
Yep.
much as
And
you.
then there goes your discs. Like, geez. But yeah, it's an amazing tool. And like you had the workouts out and like, you knew the programming that you were following, and it was just like, okay, how can we make some shifts with your
Yeah.
nutrition to make sure that we're even more dialed in to really do
Yep.
exactly what you wanted to do here?
And that's when I really kind of locked in. I kind of turned on the gas a little bit, and I got to the point where I was so regimented during 75 hard
Yeah.
that so I do my workouts fasted in the morning because I get up at 4:15 to go to the gym by 5. I do my workouts. I come home. I eat my first meal after I come home from the gym, which is generally 4 eggs and one slice of sourdough toast
Nice.
with my post workout shake.
Yeah.
And then I
But wait,
literally weigh out
what's what's your flavor?
post workout.
Yeah.
Um, it changes. I'm not a thin mint sellout like some people.
It's fine. I
Um,
had to buy chocolate and strawberry, and chocolate and strawberry, you mix them together, it's a phenomenal combo. So like they were out of Thin Mint, so we got some chocolate and strawberry. But you're just like I know you're a cereal loving man.
oh my God, if you give me either CTC or Looped
Mm,
Fruit, I'm good. But I love the Magic Charms one that they
yeah.
release on St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
But I've actually kind of, again, it's kind of like with fitness and everything else, it's getting out of that comfort zone a little bit.
Hell yeah. Gotta
So
try
I've been
new
trying a
things.
lot of the newer flavor stuff. I did the salted caramel. That's what I'm doing right now. I did the peanut butter and jelly.
So I need to ask you, thoughts on the peanut butter and jelly because, I love you first form, but that was a
I, you
miss.
know,
That
I
was a hard
wasn't
pass.
I wasn't a huge fan of it at first, but it kind of
Yeah.
grew on me. I think so. As much as I love peanut butter, I think the peanut butter kind of was overpowering a little bit, and then the jelly just
See,
kind of had a
I
hint.
actually completely disagree. I think that it was too much grape. If
No,
if it wasn't grape, it probably would have been good in my opinion. I just think like the
oh yeah,
grape.
you're a strawberry fan though.
Yeah, and you're a grape dude, so I can't
Yeah.
really because I'm thinking about how you like the grape energy drink. That was
Oh
like your
my
favorite.
God, that was. Hey, if you got any left over, I'll send you.
Man,
I'll
I
give you my
don't because
address. You can
Stone
send them to me.
Stone loved that one. I was like, okay, you can have them. Like,
Dude,
I'm
and
good.
you know what? And it's sad too because I still have one left.
You just saving it for a special day.
No, I don't want to drink it. Like I want it to be like one of those things where it's like this is limited edition,
That's
one of
funny.
one right now. And so it's like sitting on my desk at work, and people are like, "What is that?" And I was like, it's a full energy drink. Don't touch it.
Yeah. Go to Summer Smash and hand it to Andy and be like, saved you one, man.
Got you one, man.
Got
This is
you.
so this is in case you want to leave your kids and all that fun stuff.
So okay. So you have your routine in the morning, you finish up at the gym, you have your post workout, you have your breakfast.
Yeah. So then I start. So I do like a bulk meal prep where my fridge isn't huge. So what I do is I just kind of throw everything into a container,
Mm,
one container, and then I measure everything out before I go to work.
yeah.
So I do.
Easiest way to do it, to be honest, too, because
Yeah, it
I think
is.
it just saves time in the end because most people don't meal prep because they don't want to like put it out into individual containers. Now it takes up the whole fridge. I'm
Right.
like, ingredient prep is the way.
So I'm very, very generic when it comes to what my meal prep is. So I do 80 grams of oats with 2 tablespoons of PB Fit and a scoop of just regular, I like a whey, not a whey protein, but a protein isolate
Mm,
that I just get from like Costco.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
25 grams of protein, 100 calories, whatever it is, and it's usually vanilla or chocolate. And right now, it kind of looks like a no bake cookie that I'm eating every morning, which is great.
Yeah, can't beat that.
And so that's my second breakfast. I call it at work, because they're like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm gonna go make my second breakfast."
Yeah.
And then I have my lunch, which at lunchtime is like just 5 ounces of like a grilled chicken breast and a half a cup of rice, and that's it. That's all I
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah. We
And
could
then
sneak some veggies in there. Not
yeah,
your nutrition coach telling you that.
but I mean, I'm just one of those guys where it's like keep it simple. I'm not
That's why,
overcomplicating it.
Joey, that's why they made Opti Greens and Microfactor, right?
So
Fill
and
those
then
gaps.
around like 3:30, I'll do a protein bar for a first form protein bar, and I change it up. Like I try to keep a couple flavors so it's not the same thing every day. I really enjoyed the s'mores one that they just released.
See, I can't have the level 1 bars. They mess my stomach up, so I have to do the vegan bars, which I love those, like on a special occasion, because I prefer to have whole food meat because Eric's my coach and he doesn't let me eat protein bars. So, but it's one of those things where they're such a great tool to use because like most people have a horrible sweet tooth and they're going to eat cookies or they're going to eat this. Which one is the
Mhm.
better option, right?
So yeah, my afternoon snack is a protein bar from First Form
Yeah, yeah.
and one scoop of level one, which right now I'm doing I tried the peaches and cream, which I'm not mad about. If you haven't had it, try it.
It's amazing. I put it in my
So good.
Ninja Creamy most nights. It's like I do a combo of like ice cream sandwich and a little bit of like sometimes the cinnamon cookie batter or sometimes the peaches and cream hits.
So good. But yeah, that'll be my like afternoon snack. And then that's around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then I come home and, you know, I was doing another 5 pound or 5 pounds, 5 ounces of chicken and then like a protein shake right before I go to bed.
Mhm.
But I figured out that if I double the chicken, it's the same amount of protein and it's a bigger meal at the end of the
Yeah, it
day.
keeps you more full. That's see, the benefits of supplements is that they can be super convenient, but the downside to supplements is that a protein shake is not going to fill you up
No,
as a chicken breast.
no. So that's generally what a day of eating looks like for me, which is right around with like 275 in protein,
Mm-hmm.
within like 5 or 10 for both my carbs and my fat. But I also
Yep.
do the what's the endurance
Oh, the Ultraformance.
ultra performance. I do that in the morning before my workouts. I add it
Yeah.
with my pre-workout.
My
And
man. Yeah, we get some carbs in before training to give you a little bit more fuel. Once
oh
you
my
train
god.
fueled, you'll never train fasted again.
So yeah, that's what I add with my pre-workout in the morning and my L-carnitine.
Mm-hmm.
I throw that in there. Honestly, it just tastes like kind of like a weird blended orange juice, so it's not terrible.
I love it.
Um, so yeah, that's a day of eating, and like I said, I'm kind of within 5 to 10 on carbs and fats. So, and it's literally
Yeah.
the same thing every day, and that's what it
Yeah.
was.
And you're
Um,
dialed. That's really what it is.
Locked the fuck in,
Yeah.
like oh, it was mind boggling how much my body physically changed after
Yeah.
I did
It
that.
was like the amount of change that you've seen over just like the 8 week challenge, like unbelievable.
It was
Like I
crazy.
know like I'll put photos on an Instagram post and I'll share it when I share this podcast, but just like give the people who are listening like an idea like what did the scale look like? Because I know the scale isn't the most important thing, but I know that that was a pretty significant thing, as well as like, you know, the wins, the non-scale victories that we spoke about when it comes to not just mindset, but also like how your clothes fit and things like that. Like talk about your results.
So I mean, honestly, so when I started 75 hard, I was around 275. And when I started the 8 week challenge, I was at 258. So the idea wasn't to lose weight in 75 hard,
Mm-hmm.
it was just to try to find that clarity that I needed to get back to what I was used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, great. That's about 20 pounds right there, give or take. Okay, 17. But
Yeah.
who's counting?
It's about that. We'll round it up. 20 pounds.
So then the 8 week challenge came, and I was like, all right, I'm going to really dial in. And as far as dialing it in, like that was nothing changed really from the only thing that didn't happen was I wasn't doing my second workout.
Mm-hmm.
But my water wasn't the same, or my water intake was the same. My my training level was the same as far as my intensity at the gym. So my food was the same every day. And, when you talk about feeling a change in your physical body, um, the time I started the 8 week challenge to the time I ended, I lost another 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. I was like, how the fuck did this happen? I was like, I wasn't like, because even you were like, okay, you're probably going to see the number jump a little bit. Don't worry about that. We're adding more carbs. We're doing this. We're doing that. And I was like, cool. But I ain't worried about that. Like, I want to see the physical here. Like I'm not worried about what I see on the scale.
Yeah. Yeah, you
And
want to see the changes in the mirror and the confidence too. That's a huge thing, you know?
yeah, so and anybody that you ask when they ask me about, my physical stuff, like the workouts and stuff like that, they're like, well, how much do you weigh? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. People ask me that all the time too. First of all, like, don't ask a woman how much she weighs. Second of all, don't ask a man how much don't ask anyone how much they weigh. That's so
Well,
dumb.
it's not even that. It's like I don't look at the
Yeah.
scale. Like,
I
yeah,
don't care. I
I
can't even
do
tell
it.
you, Joey, the last time I stepped on a scale. Like Eric asked me, how much do you weigh right now? And I was like, I have fucking no idea. And he was just like, good. I was like,
But
yeah.
but it's the point of I judge, like you said, how my clothes fit,
Correct. Yep. How you look in the mirror, how you
how I look in
feel.
the mirror. Like the I got a I sent you the picture, the one
Hmm.
that black first form shirt that has
Yeah.
the crest in at the
Yeah.
right
That's
here,
my favorite. The like compete pullover or some shit. That's like
whatever
my
it is. Yeah,
favorite
with the
one.
little pocket in the front.
Hmm.
Um, dude, I was like, how the fuck am I wearing this the way I'm wearing it right now? Like, this is
Hmm.
insane. Like, I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is tight in all the right places.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're
You look,
like,
man,
most
you
people are
look
like,
good
it's
in
tight
that
in all the wrong
pullover.
places.
Hmm. You
So,
look good.
okay, let's do this. So it was just one of those things where it's like I could not stop. And you and I said something to you the other day, and it resonated with me, and I cannot get it out of my mind now. I'm addicted to the progress.
When you said that, I was like, fuck yeah. But it's not even that you're just addicted to the progress, Joey. You're addicted to the process. And
Mhm.
that's what's most important because most people, they become so obsessed with the outcome that they lose focus on the
Yeah,
process, the journey that takes them there. The only way that you became addicted to the progress was by earning it through being addicted to the process and being so dialed in on the process that you didn't give a shit what the scale said, but you gave a shit on at the end of every day, when I put my head on the pillow, did I give everything to my day? Yes, cool. Move forward.
check.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was probably the most rewarding thing is yeah, the mirror looked good, yeah, the scale looked good, but it wasn't even that, it was how I felt. Like the
Yeah.
other day I was at work and I was like, why are my pants like falling off my ass right now?
A
And like it's not like I wear like not like well like khakis and stuff like that at work because it's like
yeah.
business casual, but I cinched my belt and I was like I like looked down and I was like, fuck, I'm on the last hole. Like I can't go any further than where I am right
That's
now.
an incredible feeling too, right?
And I
Because
was like,
I
geez, I
know
mean,
that there's been a lot of people, and you may have been here yourself, where it's on the opposite end, where it's like, fuck, I'm out of holes. I can't
yeah,
fit anymore. And now it's like, oh shit, my pants are falling off. This is great.
yeah. It's like shit. I mean, I put on a pair of jeans the other day that one I forgot I had, but they were a pair of Old Navy, and don't hate me or don't make fun of me for this, but they're skinny jeans.
Yeah.
I felt like a chick from the 70s trying to get my legs into these jeans because part of the transformation that I have seen is some pretty thick thighs.
Yeah.
You know,
Thunder
like
thighs. Let's go.
I'm squatting a lot. I'm doing
Yeah.
leg extensions a lot. And, you know, they're there.
Yeah. Now you know every fitness female struggle, man.
Right.
It's hard.
So
Like it hangs off the waist, but it's struggled to get over the booty.
I still don't have one of those, but that's okay.
The
But I got
quads are your
thighs.
booty. That's fine.
The thighs are my booty. I got thick thighs, but no booty.
There
No,
you go.
I, no, and you know, it was again though, it was one of those things where it was like this sense of pride where it's like, fuck yeah, dude, like you just did that.
Yeah.
And I made myself happy knowing that I was the one that did the work. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
you gave me all the tools. Like, okay, here's your macros. Cool, great.
Yeah. But that's meaningless
But
unless you're fucking doing it.
you didn't put the food on my plate. You
Correct.
didn't go to the gym for me. You didn't do my workouts for me. You
Hmm.
drink my water. Although I probably would have appreciated you to pee more than I do, but
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is like I was having a conversation with one of my clients today who's also a coach and saying like when you're a coach, like you can give people all the tools in the world, but if that person doesn't follow the plan, it doesn't fucking matter. Right.
yeah,
And when a client says, oh, thank you so much for everything that you do, I say right back to them, no, thank you for actually following the process and trusting me. Because the amount of people who don't is outstanding.
yeah,
They come to me for help, they pay me for help, and then why the fuck won't you just do what I tell you to do? Like I
Yeah.
tell you why, I show you the results that clients have seen, but unless you trust the process, you're never gonna get there. And you went all in on the process. And I know you had a lot of tough moments throughout it. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm doing 75 hard. This is fucking easy. Like we're good. No, it's 75 hard, right?
Yeah.
But
No,
what do you
everything
feel
was
like?
regimented. Like I said, I mean, it was
Yeah.
so. If you went to Summer Smash this year, which I was so fortunate to be able to do,
Yeah, I did not.
shout out to Mark from Hidden Summit. He messaged me and he's like, "Hey man, don't worry about the ticket. If you can get there,"
What? Oh, that's
I was
fucking
like,
awesome. Love
"Fucking hey
Mark.
man, that's awesome." So one of the gifts that they gave you at Summer Smash was the big 40-ounce hydro jug.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about you, but do you know what 3 times 40 is?
It's 120.
That's a gallon.
Yeah, it is.
So I figured out how to drink a gallon of water before 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jesus Christ. I hope you're taking electrolytes, Joey.
But the thing was, is like in the beginning of it, I was pissing like a pregnant woman.
I bet.
Like I'm
Falling
talking
out of
like,
you.
and I'm pretty sure everybody at my office thought I had diabetes because I was going to the bathroom a lot, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But I will say this: at the end of it, and I even talked to my friend Katie, who did a bodybuilding competition, two of them this year, and I was like, dude, I gotta ask you, it's like when you were drinking all this water, did you feel more thirsty towards the end of your prep? And she's like, dude, like it was crazy. So I'm sitting here drinking. There were days where I was drinking like even like 160 ounces of water and still wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because my body had adapted to understanding this this person is giving me all of this water right now and I need more.
Mm-hmm.
But
Also,
I wasn't
also,
going to the bathroom as often.
electrolytes would
Well,
help
but I'm
with
saying
that.
like my body had become acclimated to consuming
Oh yeah. And it's
120
crazy
ounces of water.
because the amount of times too, like you said, when you first started the journey, like you were pissing all the time. Like the amount of times where I get clients who try it for a week and they're like, I can't do it. I'm peeing all the time. I can't handle it. I'm like, yes, but as with anything, our body is an incredible adaptation machine. You will adapt. Same thing when it comes to protein intake, right? When you first started eating 200 plus grams of protein, your body was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop feeding me so much protein. I'm full. But then 2 weeks into it, you're like, I'm starving. Where's more? You know?
Yeah, no, and it was absolutely crazy because it was like I said, I was thirsty all the time. Like it was I couldn't get enough.
Yeah. You're
And
working hard too.
yeah, and you know, that doesn't include an energy drink. It doesn't include my pre-workout. That doesn't
Yeah.
include the ECAs that I'm taking at the gym. And you know, like
Hmm.
it's I'm still consuming fluids throughout the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
but my body was craving water like a drug almost.
It's crazy too how water is such a simple thing that people overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, again, I'll have clients who are like, okay, I'm ready to start, have them start drinking a gallon of water. And it's like, oh my God, what did you do? Like, you're magical. No, you just hydrated now. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. You're
Yeah,
hydrated and your
exactly.
body's like thanking you for hydrating
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, and that was to me that was probably at the beginning that was the hardest part was the
Yeah.
water, and it
Mhm.
always is. No matter who you ask, 75 hard or not, no matter the physical challenge that you're putting your body through, if you're drinking a gallon of water a day, that is the hardest part that that person has to do.
Yep. And people, again, underestimate that
Yeah,
because what happens is, unless you actually plan it out, you are fucked. Because then you get to
yeah.
the end of the day and you have half a gallon left and you
You're
have to
chugging it.
uncomfortably chug half gallon of water and then you're peeing all night long. Or you say, oh, forget it. I'll start again tomorrow. And it's like, come on. Like you're
No,
going to fail the water. Like,
and I forget where I heard it from, or it might have even been in Andy's mental toughness book, the one that kind of encapsulates the whole live hard
yeah.
process. I think it even says in there that he's like, if you don't stop drinking water before 7 p.m., you're going to be up all night peeing.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I
Absolutely.
found out to be absolutely true because I was like, when I first started, I was like, stretching it out because it's like, I don't need to drink all this through, right now. I was like, but by the time I started doing that,
Yep.
I was getting more rest at night because I wasn't getting up as often to go to the bathroom, which then again is a circle of life kind of mentality where it's like you're getting more rest, your body's healing, your body's,
Yeah. We
changing.
did. I think one of the biggest things we did over this 8 week challenge that I think helped you a lot was we focused a lot on recovery,
Mhm.
through nutrition, through hydration, but also through sleep and stress management.
Yeah. And I definitely think that people, like you said, they underestimate that, they undervalue it. And, like obviously I understand, nothing's perfect. You're not always going to get a perfect 8 hours of sleep,
Of course.
but it's the quality of sleep that you're allowing your body to give.
Correct.
So
And it's about
you're,
focusing on what you can control and being as consistent as possible.
yeah. But I also think too is that, a lot of people don't take into consideration the fact that your mind, as much as you hold on to, again, like you said, your body adapts. So
Hmm.
when your mind is holding on to that stuff that is unhealthy, that's like eating McDonald's. It's
Yep.
going to kill your body. It's going to
Mhm.
kill all the progress that you're trying to make on a daily basis. So allowing yourself to open up those mental wounds that are hurting already and allowing them to heal, that's part of your body healing. And they don't understand the power that that has. And I'm not trying to be like a psychologist or anything, but I'm trying to advocate for the understanding of people go through shit and they don't realize the effect that it has on their body until it's too
Yep.
late.
Correct. I mean, like, think about the impact that stress has on people physically.
Yeah.
Like, there are physical signs of stress. Like, if you have a stressful day at work, your digestion is off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a terrible night of sleep. Like, all of these things impact you. Like, disease is caused from excessive stress because
Yeah.
the stress equals inflammation, inflammation equals gut dysfunction, and then that's where disease begins. So, what
Exactly.
people don't realize is like, if you were to manage your stress physically and emotionally, you would be way better off. But so many people think I need to do more, I need to do more, when it's not more, it's do better. Better is
Mhm.
better, not more.
And sometimes more is less.
Correct. Most of the time it is. Like,
Sometimes
that's one of the
less is
biggest things
more.
I've learned. Correct. Correct. It's what Eric tells me all the time is like better is better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not putting intent and purpose behind what you're doing, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You
Like I
know?
understand, like, and again, like I can appreciate what he says when he says walking is not a workout. Because yeah, you have to walk to your car, you have to walk here, you have to
Right.
walk there. However, if you're walking with intent, like that's a different story.
I think intent and purpose is really the driving factor behind everything, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like such a people want to treat it as like a black and white thing when there's a little bit of like gray area where it's like, well, if you're intentional with what you're doing, then anything is a workout.
So
But if
again,
you're
it's
like, I'm just doing it,
if you throw on a ruck or a vest or something and you say, okay, I'm gonna walk this two mile loop that I walk. Generally, I usually walk it in 55 minutes. I'm gonna walk it in 50 minutes.
correct.
I'm gonna
Yep.
walk in 45 minutes. Like you're
Yep. You're
giving your body a
progressing.
purpose
Hmm.
to push forward on a daily basis. And eventually that could be into a situation where it's like, okay, well, maybe now I can run this loop in 30 minutes with a ruck.
Yep. Yep. Or
Or
it could be like, hey, let me run 1 minute, walk 1 minute, run 1 minute, walk 1 minute.
exactly,
It's like all about progression. And
exactly.
again, something
So
that people don't do is because they get comfortable in a spot and they're like, oh, I've been doing the same workout for, 2 years. I'm like, yep, that's why you look the same, you know?
but I also think too is that people, you guys talked about the whole coming in like gangbusters, the big picture, oh, I want to lose 40 pounds. Great.
Hmm.
Okay, what's your first goal? Well, I want to lose 40 pounds. I understand that you want to lose 40 pounds, but what's your first goal to lose 40 pounds? Do
Yep.
you want to eat better? Do you want to work out better? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? My dog's looking at me crazy as shit right now because I keep saying, do you want to?
It's like, where are we going?
But there's all these little micro goals
Yes.
that create this giant picture of a goal. And everybody, like, I think the thing that bothers me the most is when people say, I wish I had your dedication.
Ooh,
Bitch,
every
I ain't
time somebody
dedicated.
says that to me, ooh, I wish I was as disciplined as you.
That's
I didn't
another one
just,
that pisses me off. It's like, it's not that I'm disciplined, it's I have a goal. So let's talk. Let's talk about the big idea goal here. I want to be a sponsored athlete.
Yes.
I would love to be a sponsored athlete, not
Yeah.
because I feel like I deserve it, but because I feel like the people that I see, whether it's First Form or you know, whoever the athlete is, they are there for a reason.
Right.
They have changed someone's life.
Right.
We both had the pleasure of knowing Kevin on a personal level, who is a First Form athlete. You know, you worked for him for a long time. I was a client of his for a long time, but Kevin has this demeanor about him when it comes to fitness that is undeniable. This guy is a fucking rock star when it comes to working out. I literally watched this man at Summer Smash do laps around the track with a 100-pound rock on his back.
Yeah.
Because he fucking could. But that's what puts him above the average athlete.
Right.
And like I got the pleasure to meet Will Grumpke.
Awesome, dude.
Awesome dude. That fucker ran 5 miles on the track before we even went and did the Go Rock workout at Summer Smash.
That fucker ran 100 miles around First Form HQ with no headphones.
Just thump, 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 thump,
Yeah.
thump, thump.
For 100 miles.
For 100 miles. It's like, what
Shit.
the hell, dude? Okay, Goggins.
That's another type of crazy right there. I love
But
that.
I'm saying, like, those are the people that I aspire to be because they have changed my life.
Yeah.
They have given me the drive to want to be the best version of myself on a daily basis. And I use that as an inspiration every day. Like everybody's like, oh, I want to look like The Rock. And I want like, yeah, that's great. That's a fantastic goal if you're psychotically addicted to that lifestyle. But again, right. They're like, I'm going to lift like The Rock. Great. Can you eat like The Rock? Can you be disciplined like The Rock?
Yeah. And can you do it for a really long time?
That guy eats fucking 8,000 calories a day in 7 meals. Trains like he's going to win an Olympic gold medal every day that he goes into the gym.
Yeah. People are in love with the outcome, but they don't want to do the work.
Want the work to get there.
Yep. So, that's what it is.
And so to get back to my point is like you hear people say, I wish I had your dedication. I wish I had your passion. It's like, I'm not dedicated. I'm oriented to a goal.
Yep.
Because that's what I need to do to be the best version of myself. I don't give a shit about what I look like in the mirror as long as it's what I feel is good enough.
Correct. Yeah. Like I had a client the other day after I won the competition. She said, "Oh, you're so amazing." I said, "I'm not special. I stay committed. I keep the commitments I make to myself. I seek discomfort and I do it consistently." Like greatness isn't built in 90 days. It's not built in 6 months. It's not built in a year, but everybody wants it to be that way. So they keep looking for the hacks when they just need to just fucking do the work that they're avoiding.
Yeah. And you look at all of these top tier athletes in the world, you look at, and I say The Rock, but you look at the guys like The Rock, you look at John Cena, you look at all of these guys that are the top people in their sport, their craft, whatever you want to call it. Even the Tom Brady's, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants. These are the guys that literally put endless amounts of hours of work into what they fucking do on a daily basis.
Yeah, like they talk about Kobe Bryant, like Tim Grover. He talks about him all the time. How he's at the gym at 4 a.m. fucking shooting hoops when everybody else was sleeping.
That guy worked out 3 times a day while he was in his NBA prime.
Yep, and he wasn't just like doing flashy shit. He was out there just shooting free throws for hours, doing layups.
Constant reps, muscle memory, doing what he needed to be the best in his profession.
Correct.
Which he fucking was.
Yeah, he was.
Arguably. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, however you want to label it, those guys do what they fucking need to do. As much as I hate Tom Brady as a New England Patriot, the guy won 7 fucking Super Bowls.
It's undeniable.
Undeniable. You cannot deny that man is the greatest of all time at what he did. Does not matter. Just like you can't say that Arnold Schwarzenegger was not the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Correct.
He's so great, in fact, that they have the Arnold Classic.
Named after him.
Arnold Classic.
One of the biggest bodybuilding shows in the country that
Ever.
people train years for, named after him because he's the best.
Ever.
And these people didn't just accidentally become the best. Yes, genetics do play a slight role in it because that's just how it is. But at the end of the day, if they didn't put in the work and the endless hours, they weren't going to be great.
And if you read any book next year, read Arnold Schwarzenegger's The 7 Rules to Live Life By, or whatever.
I've heard that's an incredible book.
It's an amazing book. The way he talks about the process on how he did things, from working out to movie roles to his governor terms in California, the way he approached things, second to none.
People don't realize that either because like there was, I think it was a Netflix documentary on Arnold, and it's one of those things where like, yes, he's a bodybuilder, but you don't realize like he came from another country and became one of the best actors in America. Like nobody could have predicted that, but he worked his ass off to get it.
He in the book, he talks about, so obviously, yeah, he was an undeniable action star. Terminator, Conan, the list goes on. But what he talks about in the book is one of his most successful films was Twins with Danny DeVito.
Right.
They had to sell the studio on that to where they all took minimum payments for their acting credentials up front, but took a huge back end if the movie succeeded.
Right.
Which it fucking did.
Yeah, it did.
And you know why? Because the guy had star power enough for people to say, you know what? I'm going to go watch the new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yep.
Because he's a good fucking actor, and I like watching his products.
Yeah, and the only way that you build influence and greatness like that is through doing the hard work and showing up consistently, especially on the days where you don't fucking want to.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure that I have a shirt from Hidden Summit that says it doesn't cost anything to show up.
Yep, because it doesn't.
It doesn't. And if anything is taken away from any of this, is like if you're willing to invest in yourself, that is the most cost-effective thing to remember. Is it doesn't cost you anything to show up.
Yep, but it costs you everything not to show up.
Exactly. Are you willing to risk your future with your kids, your future with your grandkids, because you don't want to eat right, work out, and do what you need to do to be the best version of yourself on a daily basis?
Yeah. It's like people have this dream that they want, and it's like you're going to literally give that up because you're too tired right now. Think about that. Or I don't feel like it. Or I'm in a bad spot mentally. Just fucking do it. You're going to feel better.
How many times did I wake up at 4:15 in the morning and be like, I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive to the gym. I don't want to take the dog for a walk in the rain.
Yeah.
But I fucking did it.
And you didn't regret it at all.
I don't regret it at all. Yeah, it sucked. I got wet. Like, cool. But guess what? I have a towel.
Yep. It's just water. You're not going to die.
It's not. I sweat a little bit during my workout. I have a shower.
Yep. Pain is temporary. Pain is temporary. Always is. Yep. And so one of my biggest questions for you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is what's next now?
Ooh. Well, right now my main goal is to continue what I've been doing. Obviously you and I have had conversations of what my goal is on a personal level. Like I want to re-enlist in the military. I'm trying to get as lean as possible, try to get under 20% body fat, which now that I think about it, I told myself after the 8-week challenge I was going to do a body scan just to see where I was at.
Got to see it.
So I got to see it to see where I am, to figure out where my new starting point is.
Yeah.
Continue this journey. I would definitely love, like I said, to become sponsored at some point. I know that is a long journey. There are thousands upon thousands of people that would love that dream as well. But it's one thing at a time, one day at a time. And if the opportunity ever presented itself to where I would be able to be, there's no denying that I definitely feel like I could change someone's life.
I think you already have.
I hope so. I really do.
I know so.
But
Now,
yeah, that's
military,
where
I
I'm
know
at.
that like the military thing is a big thing. Do you have a specific branch that you're looking to get into?
So I was in the Air Force, and that's where I'm trying to go back to.
Yeah,
Right now, I'm just looking at the Guard just to kind of get my foot back in the door.
for sure.
If I wanted to go active duty or full time there, that would definitely be something that I could explore down the road. Just because it I only need 14 years to retire, which means I can still retire in my 50s and live a very happy, healthy life. And
Yeah, pretty nice.
yeah, so and I can't deny that this was my calling, I think, in life, just to
Yeah.
continue to serve people, whether it's my country, my community, or just, an individual looking for help. It doesn't matter as far as that goes. So, the one thing that I definitely look at and think about every day is, we talked about my grandfather passing. Um, I have his flag. My family presented the flag to me because they knew how much it meant to me. It's sitting in my living room that
That's
I look
great.
at it every day to know that no matter what I do, that man will not be disappointed in how my life ends.
Fuck yeah. I love that. I love that. Now, the last question I have, Joey, is for anybody who's listening to this who's on the fence about starting something because they're scared or whatever it is, what's like one of the biggest pieces of advice that you would give to that person?
I mean, as cliche as it sounds, it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it, like, oh, I want to do this. Okay, life's too short to wait.
Yeah. Yeah,
If
it
you,
is.
like I hate to sound cliche, just because I know how much we all look at life on a daily basis and say, I wish I could do this. Well, why do you wish? Why can't you just do it?
Yep. Yep.
I wish I could tell this person how I feel. I wish I could, you know, start a business. Okay, so do it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what it is your goal is, fitness, business, a personal thing, there's no time more applicable than right now.
It's so true too. You know, because people do say it. I wish, I wish, I wish. Well,
Yeah.
you can. You're the only thing that's standing in your way.
Yep.
People say they're stuck, but the truth is they're unwilling to make a move.
Yeah. And I always think about, because I had a friend of mine who went to high school with, we lost touch over a few years. Um, and we reconnected for a very short time. And he asked me one day, he goes, if you could do one thing in this world, money not an option, what would you do? And I said, man, that's kind of deep. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what could I do that's kind of in service to myself and then, in service to other people at the same time? And for whatever reason, the answer always came back to opening a gym. And he said, well, why would you do that? I said, dude, there's a lot of things in life that happen and people see it as a sign from God or, fate or whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is everybody has their, and I don't want to say crutch, but everybody has the thing that saves them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some people, that might not be religion. It might not be, um, a book. It might be going to the gym every day and allowing yourself that time to, and as much as it sucks beating up your own body, like, yeah, like we beat ourselves up every day just to get better. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, we're more sturdy. And I would much rather give somebody that opportunity. And even if I was broke for the rest of my life, to know that that saved someone's life would make me the richest man in the world.
And that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. I think as humans, the biggest thing that we're put on this earth to do is fulfill other people, and serve other people. And that's what gives you the most fulfillment. And when you lay your head down, like I said, at the end of the night, you go to bed and you're like, I did good today because I helped somebody,
Yeah. But
Amazing.
I do need to say thank you to you and to Stone and, like the Powerhouse Mentality family as a whole. I mean, you guys have always been very supportive and, you know, cheered me on from afar just because, I mean, we are very all spread out all over the
Yeah,
place.
everywhere, which I love.
But, like if it wasn't for Hidden Summit, you and I would have never connected. If it wasn't for Hidden Summit, even I wouldn't be connected with half the people that I talked to,
Yeah.
Kayla, Fire, Sarah, Shad, Mark, even some of the coaches who I still talk to from time to time, Eric, Sam, you know, everybody is brought into our life for a reason.
I truly believe that.
And, you guys, like, if to anybody who's listening that, if you're on the fence about something, dude, the Powerhouse group is just a phenomenal group of people that will be there to stand behind you and support you no matter what. And honestly, their merch is some of the nicest merch
Reppin'.
I've ever worn.
Yo, you like that new shirt we dropped?
Dude, I wore the oversized shirt at the gym today, and I was like, man, I feel huge as fucking here.
I'm so proud of that shirt.
Dude, and you know what? You should be too, because you got your signature on the back.
I'm excited because that's like the role we're going with is like, how can we make the best possible product possible for everybody?
Hey man, like you guys talked about, well, in the round table, make America healthy again.
That's it.
I'm here for it. I'm part of this group. No matter what you need, if it's someone to talk to or bounce an idea off, I got you. But damn girl, if you don't stop making these nice ass comfortable shirts, Jesus Christ, I almost felt
Joey's gonna go broke.
I almost fell asleep at work today because I was like, this shirt is just nice.
Yeah, that tri-blend shirt is nice. I remember Stone was like, we need to do tri-blend. I was like, I don't get it, but okay, I trust you. Let's do it. And when I got them, I was like, I get it now.
Also, I have to say, so I started wearing the dad hat the other day, like after I got my package.
Mm-hmm.
That hat is nice. I love the bill on it. It's nice and soft. It's pliable.
Yep.
You can play with it a little bit. But yeah, man, shout out to the Powerhouse Mentality. You guys are fucking killing it right now. I love you
I
guys.
love it. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Awesome. Well, this has been such an incredible conversation. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll always have you back because you're an amazing person to talk to. I love it.
I appreciate it.
Go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be, guys.